Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell, episode number 18, live on Elevation 5280 Sports and Lifestyles. I'm with Rashad Mitchell streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We'll be back once again for another episode of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell every single Thursday night from 9 p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's get into it, man. We're going to start with the college football recap. The main thing that stood out was the anatomy of the upsets that took place. Last week's slate of games wasn't all that great, but the thing about college football is that you gotta bring your A game every single week, despite the opponent that you're facing. You gotta play every day, every single down, every single possession like it's your last. You never know what's gonna happen. You have to get it done. And a team like Notre Dame didn't get it done last week. Lose to Northern Illinois at home by a score of 16-14. Obviously, it's a classic letdown. The portions it was not focused. It wasn't locked in. It wasn't able to get the job done and win this game. That's why they lost the game. I'll give credit to Northern Illinois, but some of it is that Notre Dame just didn't show up. Losing 16-14 is a heavy favorite, but they wasn't able to hold it down and get the job done like they're supposed to. So give credit to Northern Illinois for winning this matchup and winning 16-14. And that's the thing that stood out last week. Is just a lot of upsets that took place. Obviously, the main game of that Saturday was Texas beating Michigan. And the thing about Michigan is that they're just not as good as they used to be. I think they're showing that they're not as good as it was last year. They lost a lot of players to the draft, J.D. McCarthy included. I think once you get to that standpoint, you lose a lot of players to the draft. It's tough to be that same team. You got a new head coach that replaces Jim Harbaugh and stuff like that. Got a new quarterback, so you got to deal with that. So it's like from that standpoint, it's gonna be tough to try to repeat. Season far from over, but at the same time, last week showed that Michigan is just not as good as it once was last year, compared to last year. And give credit to Texas, they went to Michigan and won a big game on the road by a score of 31-12. And not only that, they snapped the longest home win streak in college football. They did the same thing last year with Alabama. They went to Alabama and won 34-24. And this year they go into Michigan, the big house, and win by a score of 31-12, snapping a 23-game home winning streak. So it shows you that they can go on the road and get the job done against the big time opponents. Now the key for Texas, can they stay focused the remainder of the season? That's what stands out moving forward because they get picked off themselves. So they gotta maintain their focus and not get picked off like a Notre Dame did last week. Go for all other teams that are in the top 10, in particular, the top 12. Those want to remain in that top 12 range to get into the postseason. You gotta maintain your focus. You gotta beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. You can't stub your toe. You get back into the top 12, but you never know. But at the same time, give credit to Texas, man. They definitely got it done on the road, hostile environment, and win as a number 3 team in the country, beating Michigan 31-12. Quinn Ewers, the quarterback of Texas, threw 3 touchdowns. He has led Texas to 2 road wins in 2 consecutive seasons. I mean, how many teams can say that in recent memory that you can go into 2 hostile environments like Alabama and Michigan and win in on their home turf 2 consecutive years? Now, here's the thing that stands out. This is a great stat right here. Texas became the first school to beat Michigan and Alabama on the road in consecutive seasons since Notre Dame pulled it off in 1979 and 1980 with different quarterbacks. So that's an interesting stat right there. So in a long time, they go into Michigan and Alabama. That's a tough place to play. They did the job, and also Michigan lost 3 streaks that they had intact that was snapped. Michigan had won a Big Ten record, 29 consecutive regular season games, 29 straight, and they had won 23 straight home games. They won the national best 16 games in a row since losing to the TCU in the 2022 college football playoff. So those streaks went down the drain. So give credit is due, man, to Texas. They're a newcomer in the SEC. They prove that they are contenders. But can they maintain that focus moving forward, the duration of the season, because that's what it's about. You got to stay focused on the task at hand. So we'll see about that. So it's a big win for University of Texas. Penn State barely beat Bowling Green. That was a very close one, 34-27. Oklahoma State won in double overtime, 39-31. They were number 16 team in the country. Oklahoma State, they almost got beat. Kansas State had a tough time with Tulane. And most of these games, again, you would think, yeah, it's supposed to be an automatic win, but you gotta work hard for the victory. If you don't bring your A game, you gotta bring it every single game. Now we did have another upset. Syracuse beating Georgia Tech 31-28. That was a huge upset. So Syracuse is 2-0. Kyle McCord threw 4 touchdown passes as they knocked off number 23, Georgia Tech, at home. And Georgia continued to keep things rolling. They won their 41st consecutive game. And here's the thing about Georgia: they have not given up an offensive touchdown yet. Carson Beck, who I think is going to win the Heisman, threw 5 touchdown passes again. Tennessee Tech, they're supposed to beat them, but they have not given up a touchdown on the defensive end. They shut out the University of Clemson, beat them 34-3, and now they haven't given up a touchdown 2 consecutive games. 5 touchdowns. Carson Beck, 18 of 25, 18 of 25 passing, 242 yards. So no surprise there with the result. So other than that, that's the storyline on that. And then, like I said, Notre Dame loses to Illinois 16-14. There's no a stunning loss for them. They were ranked number 5 in the country and they get beat. Give credit to the coach Thomas Hammock as a Cannon Woodell hit a 35-yard field goal with 31 seconds left. But Notre Dame still had a chance, but they had a 62-yard field goal attempt blocked by that was kicked by Cade Haberman, and he ended up losing 16-14. Classic letdown, simple as that. You beat Texas A&M on the road, then you come back home for your season opener, and you lay an egg and get outplayed. So is what it is with that. See what the upsets you had. Iowa State knock off number 21 Iowa 20-19 as Iowa State they won on a game-winning field goal from 54 yards. So that was no upset, even though they're rivals. Illinois upset Kansas. So you had that going on. So there was a lot of upsets that took place this past Saturday in college football, where you had a slate of games that you thought would be automatic victories, but you got to earn victories, and that's what you saw that teams failed to do because they were upset. Had a lot of upsets, as far as that is concerned. I think that's basically it for us upsets. Oklahoma barely beat Houston, 16-12. Oregon barely beat Boise State, 37-24. It was impressive when outside Texas, you could say, was Tennessee Volunteers. Nico Amaliva threw for 276 yards, 3 touchdowns as they won against number 24 NC State. So Tennessee is looking good. They won 51-10 in North Carolina on neutral field. So Tennessee looks good the first 2 games of the season. See who you play next. They play host Kent State. Okay, so that's storylines on that with the college football. Right, let's get into my picks of the week. Who I had. How did I do? I think I went like 4-1 on the season so far. I should be like 10-5, 10-4, something like that to that extent. Let's look into it. Right, I was 6-3 going into week 2, so I was 4-1, so I gotta be like 10-4. Texas over Michigan, I was right about that pick. I was wrong with Georgia Tech over Syracuse. Other games I was right. Miami over Florida A&M. They won 59-6. Tennessee over NC State. I was right about that game, and Oregon over Boise State. So We're 4-1 currently on the season. So I'm 10-4 on the season. The college picks. That's my record. Okay. Let's get into week number 3. Slate of games. Let's look into that. Who's playing this week? Let's fast forward to this week. Again, you gotta stay focused when it comes to these kind of matchups. It's week 3. Okay, you got a good game tomorrow. You got Arizona versus Kansas State. That's a number 20 Arizona against number 14 Kansas State. That's a good game. Then September 14th, slate of games. You got maybe a upset alert, possibly. I don't think it's gonna happen. Alabama at Wisconsin, Oklahoma State at Tulsa, LSU at South Carolina, Boston College at Missouri, number 24. Boston College against number 6 Missouri. Got number 9 Oregon against Oregon State. Miami, number 10 team in the country. They moved to number 10. They play Ball State at home. Oklahoma plays Tulane at home. Notre Dame travels to Purdue. Number 12, Utah versus Utah State. Number 5, Ole Miss versus Wake Forest. Texas versus I believe that's the University of Texas San Antonio. I think that's the name of the school that they're gonna be playing against. So the thing about Texas, they rank number 2 in the country. They gotta stay focused. They gotta maintain their focus. Of the big win against the national champion, national champion, uh, Michigan Wolverines. How do they respond? How do they react? Because you come off a big victory. How do you respond? Now that you're gonna be playing a team that you should beat, the University of Texas at San Antonio. That's the name of the college football program. How do they respond? So we see what happens. Will they have a letdown? Georgia plays at Kentucky. Northern Iowa plays at Nebraska. Kent State plays at Tennessee. Tennessee's ranked number 7. All right, so here to my picks of the week right now. I got Alabama over Wisconsin. I think they not gonna get upset. I like this is an interesting match. Boston College and Missouri. I take Missouri. I take Oregon over Oregon State. I take Miami over Ball State. I take Georgia over Kentucky. So those are my picks of the week for week 3 of the college football season. That's what I'm going with. I'm going Alabama over Wisconsin. Oregon over Oregon State. Miami over Ball State. Next, I got Georgia over Kentucky. And I can take Missouri over Boston College. Those are my top 5 picks of the week for week 3. Alabama over Wisconsin, Oregon over Oregon State, uh, Miami over Ball State, Georgia over Kentucky, and Missouri over Boston College. Those are my picks of the week for week 3 this coming Saturday for the slate of games are concerned. All right. So that's it for the college football think I'm done with that. The overview of the college football season from last weekend going to this week. I mean, great games, but again, it could be a lot of upsets. Possibly, you never know. Let's move on to the NFL week number 1 this past Saturday. I mean, this past Sunday. Not that get many good games. I mean, most of the games were not well played. I think maybe it's a product of not the first team's not playing enough in the preseason. I think that's probably the reason why the brand of football wasn't that great. Like for example, Giants and the Minnesota Vikings wasn't a great game. Seattle versus Denver wasn't a great game. The Chargers and the Rays wasn't a great game. There's a lot of games that just wasn't that great last week. That was well played. Even Pittsburgh versus Atlanta, that wasn't a great football game to watch. So hopefully you have better football this week. There's some good games that were really good. Obviously the Rams and the Lions, that was a great football game to watch. The thing about the Rams is that they were down 17-3. And it's Jameson Williams. Look out for him. He may be the next great wide receiver in the NFL, maybe the best wide receiver the Lions have ever had since Calvin Johnson, Megatron. So watch out for this guy, Jameson Williams, because he's basically doing the same thing that he was doing at Alabama, man. He's a great run catch guy. He's a deep threat. He's fast. He can be utilized running reverses with this guy. He scored a big touchdown last week. But give credit to the Rams. They was able to overcome a 17-3 deficit, tie the game up, take the lead 20-17. But give credit where it's due to Detroit. They was able to tie the game, make it 20-20 before overtime and won overtime 26-20. And this Lions team showed that they have resolve. They probably would have lost that game 4 or 5 years ago. This team is a different team. This team is headed in the right direction. They're going upward. They could have won the Super Bowl last year. They just failed to get to the Super Bowl last year. Um, Going to 17-9 lead against the 49ers. But I think this team is totally focused and locked in, trying to make it happen. I think they will. Um, see what happens with that. But that was a good game to watch. The Colts and the Texas, that was pretty competitive, 29-27. Give credit where it's due. I mean, talk about this Houston Texas team. This team is for real. Stroud played very well. Diggs stepped up. Stephon Diggs stepped up. Obviously, Joe Mixon ran for over 100 yards. This team is definitely for real. And give credit to the Texans for going on the road and winning a big game. Those are like the two of the best well played games in a sense, especially definitely the Sunday night game between the Rams and the Lions. That was a well played game as far as that is concerned. All right, so the Giants and the Minnesota Vikings, man, get to them. The Giants they don't play well at home when it comes to season openers. For a reason, like last year they got shut out 40-0. And this year, on a day where they honored the 100 greatest players in Giants history, because it's the 100th season of Giants football. And for the Giants to play like that and not score offensive touchdown, lose 28-6, Daniel Jones not being effective, throwing interception, pick sixes, and stuff like that. Defense didn't get it done. Kayvon Thibodeau didn't have a sack, didn't have a tackle for loss. He was non-competitive, non-existent. And this time, time around against the Washington Commanders, who they play, you gotta definitely play better. So, in that perspective, the Giants, the last two season openers, man, they've been outscored by a combined score of 68-6. Haven't scored an offensive touchdown at home. Being outscored. So they gotta maybe start on the road to start the season instead of playing at home, because they don't play well at home or scoring touchdowns. They've been outscored 68-6. 40 points gave up to the Dallas Cowboys last year's season opener, and then you give up 28 points to a team that lost their best pass rusher to the Texans, Danielle Hunter, who had like 87 and a half sacks. He's not there, and you still couldn't do anything against that defense. It's a head scratcher. And James Jones got to play better. He has to. We give him this big contract, and this shows you that they're going to miss Saquon Barkley. Obviously, he had 109 yards last Friday. He played outstanding. I wasn't even talk about that game. Yeah, I got to talk about that game. Philadelphia won 34-29. Unfortunately for the Packers, they lost Jordan Love like 3-4 weeks. Got hurt, like a lower left injury, something like that, leg injury. They should not be playing in Brazil, but they lost that game 34-29. And Saquon Barkley was in midseason form. He scored 3 touchdowns, 2 of them rushing. He ran for a touchdown. He ran for 2 touchdowns, caught a touchdown pass. Not only that, this is what he did. He ran for 109 yards and 24 carries. So it shows that he was a guy that made it happen for that offense. Hurts did his thing, got the ball to AJ Brown. He got receivers, Devontae Smith. He definitely got a lot of weapons. With Saquon Barkley, they're going to add another dimension to that offense this year for the Eagles. So the Giants are going to miss him. They're going to miss his services. Saquon Barkley. They should have gave him his money. And when you have no Daniel Jones, they have no Saquon Barkley, your offense is going to suffer. Devin Singletary, you got to give him time. But at the same time, that was just a bad loss for the Giants. The big win for the Eagles going to playing on a neutral field in Brazil, win that game 34-29. So I want to talk about the Giants with that. Also give credit to the Bills. The Bills overcame a 17-0 deficit against the Cardinals, and Josh Allen showing that again he's a big time quarterback, but he definitely gonna show how great he is even more. Now you don't have Gabe Davis, so with Jacksonville you don't have Stephon Diggs, who's now scored a couple of touchdowns against the the Colts. How are they gonna? Who's gonna be the number one wide receiver? It's just gonna be wide receiver by committee. We'll see about that. They won that game coming back and beating the Cardinals. And then you look at the Dolphins. Obviously, the big news about the Dolphins with Tyreek Hill being stopped by the police and stuff like that for speeding and stuff like that. Um, it didn't affect him. He did great. He usually played great in these season openers. So he wasn't affected. Had over 100 yards receiving, including an 80-yard touchdown, and they won 20-17. A game that that Jacksonville should have won. They had him on the ropes, but they wasn't able to hold on. The strangest game of week one got to be the Tennessee Titans against the Chicago Bears because Chicago Bears did not score an offensive touchdown. And that's strange. It's head scratching because Caleb Williams is supposed to have, now again, he's a rookie. When you have DeAndre Swift in the backfield, you have Gerald Everett at tight end, when you have DJ Moore at wide receiver, a newcomer to your team, and Keenan Allen, maybe a future Hall of Fame. You think that this offense would be much more explosive. They didn't score offensive touchdowns. They scored touchdowns on a block punt for a touchdown and an interception for a touchdown. It's one interception. That was it. That's all. And they kicked 3 field goals. One of the strangest 24-17 victories ever going to see. It's strange. And that was just a shocker of the result of that. To see them lose like that. Tennessee had a lead in this game. They win, I believe, 17-0. So I'm just this is just head scratcher to see something like that transpire. Speaking of NFL, the Bills are looking good against the Dolphins. They're winning 17-7. Josh Allen looks good. They're dominant. Matter of fact, they just scored another touchdown. Uh, James Cook ran 49 yards for a touchdown. Allen's looked good. He has 108 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 9 for 13. Tua Tagovailoa, not so good. 2 interceptions. Cook got 60 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns, and they are winning big, 24-7. So this is a shocker, man. The Bills look good. They've kind of like under the radar, the Bills, because again they lost Gabe Davis, they lost Stephon Diggs. When you lose those 2 players, you kind of fly under the radar, even though they are perennial contenders, the Buffalo Bills. They making a statement tonight, man. I'm in the business right now. In the second quarter with 3:36 to go. 24-7 is the score right now in the first half. Yeah, making a statement, the Bills. Yeah, they don't have the key guys again. Their receivers, Khalil Shakur, he has 4 catches for 42 yards. He's only 24 years old. He has had to step up. So they got some unknown guys. Ty Johnson, he's a running back. Dalton Kincaid, he's a tight end. Curtis Samuel. around for a while. But again, they don't have no number one receiver, but they're doing good. They're doing very well. Winning 24-7, very impressive. So again, the Eagles won 34-29. Big time performance by Saquon Barkley. 3 touchdowns, two running, one catching, 109 yards on 24 carries. The big news is that, unfortunately, your Packer fan, um, Jordan Love got hurt, had like a lower leg injury. He's going to be out for a while. Yeah, the Bills won 34-28. The Bengals and the Patriots, that was the upset of the day. The Bengals losing to the Patriots. I don't know what's going on with the Bengals. Now, they don't have Joe Mixon. They're going to miss him. They're definitely going to miss him. It's like the Giants. They're going to miss Saquon Barkley. So, for every reason, the Bengals just got to a terrible start. 16-10. That's just head scratcher. The Bears won 24-17. Strange score when you kick 3 field goals and you get a block punt. Jonathan Owens covers it and goes in for a touchdown. And a Tariq Stevenson 43-yard interception. Those are probably the Saints beat the Panthers 47-10. The Steelers, they kicked about 6 field goals by Boswell. No Wilson, Justin Fields played and plays and he was hurt. But the games were not that good last week. Cowboys obviously looked good. Mr. Browns winning 33-17. Zach Prescott got his money, got the biggest contract in NFL history. And played pretty solid. And also you had a sighting with Ezekiel Elliott. He's back with Cowboys. He had 10 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown. Um, he's back. So Cowboys look good against the Browns. And the Buccaneers look really good. Great performance by Baker Mayfield. He's 24 of 30, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. And this Mike Evans, man, very underrated, great receiver. He had to have over 100 yards. He had 61 yards, 5 catches, 2 touchdowns, 37-20. Again, the best game of the week last week, big case was the Rams and the Lions. That was no big time game. They won overtime, 26-20. Again, Jameson Williams was a big time factor in this game. 5 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. And then you had the Monday night game. Give credit where it's due. Despite not having no Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason stepped up in place of him, and he ran the ball very well. 147 yards, 28 uh, carries, and a touchdown. Never heard of this guy. So he went to the University of Georgia Tech. 25 years old. Never heard of this guy. Stepped up and won this game 32-19. Jets got up to a good start. They got up 7-3. But then that was it. At least Aaron Rodgers was not, wasn't hurt. Uh, solid game, not a great game. 13-21, 167 yards. At least he showed that he could play at least different way he did last year when he got hurt against Buffalo on Monday night. But bad loss for the Jets, yes, because this was a statement game against the 49ers, the defending NFC conference champions, and they ain't had Christian McCaffrey. They was able to still run away with it and win going away. Ran for 180 yards. So give credit where it's due. As the Jets get beat 32-19. All right. Right now it's 24-7. 2 minutes to go. Dogs have the ball at their own 46-yard line, getting blown out right now. 24-7. Right. Let's look at the games that's coming up this week in National Football League. Got the Raiders and the Ravens. Got the Browns and the Jaguars. Jets and the Titans. 49ers and the Vikings. Chargers and the Panthers. Seattle and the Patriots. The Seahawks and the Patriots. Saints and the Cowboys. Giants and the Commanders. Buccaneers and the Lions. Colts and the Packers. Rams and the Cardinals. Steelers and the Broncos. Bengals and the Chiefs. Bears and Texans on Sunday night. And the Falcons and the Eagles on Monday night. So those are the slated games. Now I'm getting to my picks of the week. We're gonna go with the Jets. I think the Jets want to bounce back against the Titans. I just think that you couldn't play any worse on the defensive end. Offensively, obviously, they gotta get better, but defensively, they gotta play much better from a defensive standpoint. So I think they'll play better against the Titans. I think they'll beat the Titans this week. I got the 49ers over the Vikings, definitely. I don't think the Vikings are that good. I think they just probably a Giants team that just didn't show up. I think they're like in preseason mode, something like that. But I just think the 49ers on a mission. I think they're gonna play at a high level. I think they're gonna win this ball game. See if McCaffrey will play via game time decision. They got a lot of weapons, and I like San Francisco to win this game. Big over Minnesota. So it's the second pick. I think the Giants are going to bounce back. They couldn't play any worse, obviously. Um, Losing like that, I think they'll bounce back. Daniel Jones has to play better. And I think they will. I think that team will play better than the Giants. I think they'll win this game. They can't afford to go 0-2. So I think they'll win this game. So I got the Giants win. That's how I see in that matchup. Kayvon Thibodeau got to step up. We got to play better. Again, he didn't have no sacks, no tackles for loss, nothing. No tackles, no sacks, no tackles for loss. Everything was zero. You got to play better. You want to be the caliber player that he is. Got the Giants win that game. I got the Buccaneers and the Lions. This is the rematch of last year's playoff game. This is the second straight playoff rematch against an opponent. Last week the Lions played the Rams. They played each other in the wild card. In this game, they played the Buccaneers last year in the divisional round for a chance to go to the championship game, and the Lions were able to win that one. So now they play again. In this series, Lions lead 33-29. Last time they met, obviously the Lions beat the Buccaneers 31-23 in Detroit. So keep your eyes on Baker Mayfield. Played very well last week. He had the highest passer rating, 146.4. So keep your eyes on him. Lions player to watch is Amon-Ra St. Brown. He only had 3 catches on 6 targets for 13 yards. So look for him to have a bigger game. The matchup to keep your eyes on is Baker Mayfield against the Detroit Lions defense. Um, Obviously, Mayfield played great last week against the Commanders. No interceptions, 4 touchdowns. So see if he could attack Terrion Arnold, the Lions rookie cornerback who had a couple of pass interference penalties. Also, the visiting team has won the past 4 regular season meetings between these the one-time NFC Central rivals. They used to be in the NFC Central, but Tampa Bay's in the NFC South. So it's been up there for several years. Another stat is Buccaneers Mike Evans, the wide receiver, is the only player in NFL history to begin a career with 10 consecutive seasons with at least 1,000 yards receiving. Since the start of last season, Rashad White, running back, ranked second among NFL running backs in receiving, 624, third in reception, 70, and fourth in scrimmage yards, 1,645. 6 rookies made a debut for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. Wide receiver Jalen McMillan, who scored a touchdown. Graham Barton, who started against the Washington. The Lions are the fourth NFL team. This is an interesting stat. The Lions are the fourth NFL team to open a season with 2 straight playoff rematches. The other 3 teams were 2007 Patriots, 1984 49ers, and 1966 Packers. You know what they have in common? They went on to win the NFL title. So maybe that's something to that, man. Like again, I think this Detroit team is going to win it all. I always felt that way. Detroit and Kansas City. I think that was going to be. I always felt that was going to be the matchup. So I like that matchup in Super Bowl. So there's something to this. When you play a rematch against the opponent that you faced last previous year, that's an interesting stat, man. The Lions are the fourth NFL team to open a season with 2 straight playoff rematches. The 1984 49ers, 1966 Packers, 2007 Patriots. They went on to win NFL titles. Wait a minute, there's something that don't add up. The 2007 Patriots did not win the championship last year. that year, 2007. They lost to the Giants. So that is not correct. The Giants won in '07. Now they won the AFC Championship game, the Patriots, but they did not win the NFL title. It was referring to the '84 49ers and the Packers in '66. They did win. '84 finals did win. 84 49ers did win. But the 2007 Patriots did not win the Super Bowl. They won the AFC Championship game, but not the Super Bowl, so that's incorrect. Detroit is coming off his first overtime win since 2016. His first at home since 2015. Also, this running game of the Lions is definitely dynamic and powerful. They averaged 5.3 yards a carry with Dave Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs. Got a strong offensive line. They have scored rushing and passing in league high 16 games. And Jameson Williams had a big game last week. 5 catches for 121 yards, career high, with 52-yard touchdown. And Detroit was the only team in week 1 with 3 players gaining 70 yards scrimmage. 70 scrimmage yards Gibbs, Montgomery, and Williams. So interesting nuggets right there. But the Patriots did not win the title in 2007. That is not true. They did go to the Super Bowl, but they lost to the Giants. But anyway, I got the Lions beating the Buccaneers, so that's my third pick. And with the Giants and the Commanders and the Jets over the Titans. Fourth game I got, I think that's the 49ers over the Vikings. I got that. I already did the four. I already got 4 picks. Jets over Titans, Giants over the Commanders, Vikings over Vikings gonna lose the 49ers, and then I went with the Buccaneers and the Lions. So I got the Lions over the Buccaneers. Excuse me, Lions over Buccaneers, Giants over the Commanders, Lions over Buccaneers, Jets over the Titans, and 49ers over the Vikings. Jets going to win against the Titans. I got the 49ers over the Vikings, Giants over the Commanders, and the Lions over the Buccaneers. The final game will go to Sunday night, man. I like the Texans over the Bears on Sunday Night Football. So I got that. Texas lead the series 4-2. Players to watch. Obviously, keep your eye on Caleb Williams. Didn't play well last week against the Titans. 93 yards passing. Got to do better. Obviously, keep your eyes on C.J. Stroud. He threw for 234 yards against the Colts. 115.9 passer rating. And both him and Diggs was on the same page. He threw both of his touchdown passes to Stephon Diggs. So he's off to a great start. Not only that, C.J. Stroud has thrown for 12 touchdowns without an interception in his past 8 games, including the playoffs. Now, key matchup in this matchup, keep your eyes on Joe Mixon against the Chicago Bears run defense because Joe Mixon had a career high 30 carries for 159 yards and a touchdown. And this is why Cincinnati Bengals is going to miss him. That running dynamic way of Joe Mixon. They don't have his services, so now he's a Texan. So he definitely going to play divisions. Also, in week 1, he earned AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. The Texans finished with 213 yards rushing. They opened it to lead the league. Now Mixon will face the Divas, which gave up 140 yards rush to the Titans. So he's great in 4 primetime games for the Bengals last season, rushed for 4 touchdowns and a touchdown catch. This is an interesting stat right here. The Chicago Bears obviously rallied to win 17-0, rallied to overcome a 17-0 deficit and win 24-17 last week. And they didn't score offensive touchdown. In the Super Bowl era, teams that scored 0 touchdowns and trailed by 17 or more points are 3 and 1,225. That's how that string that score was last week for the Bears to win a game like that. We didn't score an offensive touchdown and still win. Only 3 teams have done it. 2 of those wins against Chicago when they beat the Arizona Cardinals in 2006. The other was by Kansas City against Carolina in 2016. Only 3 wins have occurred whenever a team didn't score a touchdown offensively. 0 touchdowns, trying 17 points or more, and still win the game. That's crazy. Only 3 teams have done it. And you had 1,225 losses. So it shows you that that's strange. I mean, you want to win the game, you got to score offensive touchdown. Chicago got 17 points over turnovers against Tennessee. Another note is that Houston Texans has not they haven't appeared on Sunday Night Football since 2019 on December 1st. So it's been 5 years. They won against New England 28-22. Nico Collins, the wide receiver, led the Texans with 117 yards receiving last week for his 600-yard receiving game of his career. Also, Sunday's game is the first of a franchise record 6 nationally televised games for the Texans. And that's why they're going to have a lot of high expectations. They're going to be on TV because of who they are, the success that they had. And Danielle Hunter, again, this is a guy that had 87 and a half sacks as a Viking. He's now Houston Texan. He had 3.5 sacks in 2 games against Chicago last season. He was with the Vikings. Keep your eyes on him. And Will Anderson, last year's AP Defensive Rookie of the Year, had 7 sacks in his past 6 home games. So I like the Texans to win. I like Texans over the Bears. Right, so I'm gonna get into some baseball real quick. Need some excerpts from the baseball book, memorable home runs, and get to the on this day in sports history for this day, September 12th, and that'll be it for the show for tonight. Back to Danielle Hunter. He had 87 and a half sacks. Let me look at his career sacks. Yeah, 87 and a half sacks, 11 forced fumbles, 1 recoveries, 2 defensive touchdowns. Again, 4-time Pro Bowler. Now he's a Texan. All right, let's get into some baseball. Again, once again, my picks of the week for the NFL for week 2. Jets over the Titans. It's 24-10 right now with 4 seconds left in the second quarter between the Bills and the Dolphins right now. Again, I got the Jets over the Titans, 49ers over the Vikings, Giants over the Commanders, Lions over Buccaneers, and Houston over Chicago. All right, let's get into some baseball. Move on to some baseball. Right now, the Red Sox and the Yankees are tied at 1. Top of the ninth, 1 out. So we got the standings. Matter of fact, look at yesterday's game. It was an interesting game. Start with the Mets. Mets are playing good. They're 80 and 66, won a big game against the Blue Jays in Toronto, where Francisco Lindor hit a leadoff home run in the ninth to end Bowden Francis no hit bid to tie the game at 1-1. And the Yankees, the Mets went on to win, scoring 6 runs in the ninth to win 6-2. So the Mets are looking very, very good. Still in that race, in that hunt for the wild card. They moved again ahead of rival Atlanta for the final National League wild card because the Braves lost 5-1, so they're right there, the Mets. All right, let's look at the standings. The Yankees are 1.5 games up over Baltimore, 84 and 62 record. Cleveland is 84 and 62, 4.5 games up over Kansas City. Houston is up 78 and 68. You got up 4 games up over Seattle, 74 and 72. Look at National League. The Mets are 8 games out, but again, they still have a chance to win that wild card. Philadelphia is 88 and 58. 83 and 62 are the Milwaukee Brewers in the Central Division National League. They definitely going to win that division. And the Dodgers, 87 and 59. They're going to hold on and win that division. 5 games up over Arizona. So let's look at the baseball. Let's look into this book, 101 memorable home runs in baseball history. Let's get into that. Let's resume with that. A countdown. Who had the number one home run in baseball history? We're going to resume with number 49, Dusty Rhodes, a less than colossal blast. Dusty Rhodes. Look into him. Look at that. What home run he hit. Okay, the home run that he hit barely traveled 280 feet and just inside the foul pole. It was far enough, and the Giants won. Dusty was held in New York and was favored as the Colossus of Rhodes. Must be against Cleveland. And he did this. That's what it looked like. He was in 1954 World Series. Right, number 48, Gabby Hornet, the homer and the gloman. Never heard of this guy. Gabby Hornet. It's the most important home run in Chicago Cubs history. The expression was a play on the popular song Roman and the Gloman. He was 37 years old at the time. Game was tied at 5-5. September 28th, 1938. And that's all you can say about that. Bill Scouring, vindication for Moose. That's number 47. See what home run he hit. That was important. Okay, the bottom of the ninth in the seventh game of the 1957 World Series. That was against the Milwaukee Braves. They were trailing 5-0. So he kept stepped up to the plate. Previously, he had hit a seventh inning grand slam against the Dodgers. Came as a pitch hitter against facing Lou Burdett. Was about to throw his third complete game at the Yankees. But he hit one down the third base line. Moves off the bat. It looked like a base clearing double that would give the Yankees a chance with the top of the order coming up, but it wasn't a double. Braves Hall of Fame third baseman Eddie Matthews backhanded it and beat Jerry Coleman, the runner at second, to the bag. World Series belonged to the underdog Braves. Hmm. Okay, maybe it's the previous year he redeemed himself. Okay, he hit a three-run homer off of Burdett, making his way around the bases for a Science Milwaukee proud. Moose felt vindicated. Okay, so he played again the following year, 1958, against the Braves. Yeah, Braves. They beat the Braves this time. Okay. All right, so that's it for that. Number 46, Derek Jeter. Will help for a fan. I remember this was game one of the 1996 American League Championship Series. This when Jeter was a rookie hitter, opposite field home run, but 12-year-old Jeffrey Mayo, Old Tappan, New Jersey, reached out and caught it. That's what made that home run special home run because he was able to reach out, unfortunately, and they called a home run. So Derek Jeter got a lot of help. That's what that is. They was losing 4-3, bottom of the eighth. Marta Benitez was up. Yeah, no opposite field. And Bernie Williams hit the game winning home run in the last inning. Yep, I remember that. Okay, number 45, Mickey Mantle, longest clout. August 17, 1953. This will be my last look at the home runs, remember home runs. Mickey Mantle came up with the longest home run. See how long it lasted. How long was it? Okay, 565 feet. It was the first tape measure homer that was written into the baseball lexicon. Everything since has been measured by it. This was against the Washington Senators. Yeah, I believe so. All right, so that's it, man. That's it for that. I'll resume with number 44 next week. All right, let's get to on this day in sports history for September 12th. September 12th. Let's get into it. I'm gonna go over every event, but something that stands out. Okay, 1911 on September the 12th, future baseball Hall of Famer pitchers, Hall of Fame pitchers like um, Cy Young for the Boston Rustlers and Christy Matthews and of the Giants. It was their final duel, the final time. New York won 11-2. 1914, on September 12th, Yankee shortstop Roger Peckinpah, 23 years old, became the youngest manager. Interesting. 1830, on September 12th, Brooklyn catcher Al Lopez hits major leagues for last recorded bounce home run. 1932, September 12th, Brooklyn Dodger Johnny Frederick hits his record six pinch hit home run. 1947, September 12th, Pittsburgh's future Hall of Famer of baseball left fielder Ralph Kemner hit two home runs in Pirates' 4-3 win over the Boston Braves at Forbes Field, record eighth home run in four games. September 12th, 1953, Brooklyn Dodgers clinched the National League pennant earlier than any other team. defeating Milwaukee Braves 5-2. Brooklyn finished the season with a record of 105 and 49. 1954, the Indians sweep the Yankees at Municipal Stadium, a large American League crowd of 86,463. The White Sox on September 12, 1954, won the 90th game, first time they win this many since 1920. Ralph Boston, American League long jumper, 1964, September 12th, set the world record at the time, 27,414 at the Los Angeles, California. Yeah, I'm skip over some. I think I'll go over everything. Call You Stripsy, 1979, September 12th, gets his 3,000th hit off a Yankee pitcher Jim Beatty. 1979, September 12th, Indiana Pacers cut Ann Myers, the first woman on an NBA club. September 12th, 1981, Red Sox rookie Bobby Ojeda. Bob Ojeda no hits the Yankees for 8 innings for Rick Cerrone and Dave Winfield lead off ninth with back-to-back doubles. September 12th, 1984, the White Gooden of the New York Mets at the time, 40 years ago on September 12th, set rookie strikeout record of 251. 1986, Minnesota Twins fired manager Ray Miller and replaced him with Coach Tom Kelly. 1987, September 12th, Vince Coleman stole his 100th base for a third straight year. September 12th, 1988, the first NFL regular season game was played in Phoenix. Cowboys beat the Cardinals. September 12th, 1988, first NFL regular season game was played in Phoenix as Cowboys beat the Cardinals. 1991, on September 12th, 1991, Nolan Ryan's 4-3 victory over the Minnesota Twins and his 312th career win. 1993, September 12th, Paul Molitor, at age 37, is oldest to reach 100 RBIs for the first time in career. September 12th, 1997, New York Mets, John Owen hits for the cycle. 2004, September 12th, the Detroit Lions beat the Chicago Bears 2016 at Soldier Field to snap the NFL record 24-game road loser streak. I think that's basically it. Yeah, finally, last one would be 2005, Mark Messier, NHL, announced on ESPN Radio that he will retire from the NHL. All right, so that's it, man, for the show. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's show. Went over a lot with the NFL, college football. One more thing, we can give you an update on the Buffalo Bills Miami Dolphins matchup on Thursday night to start week 2 of the NFL season. It's 24-10. Well, they already in the third quarter. The Bills lead 24-10 in the third quarter, 14:51 to go. Buffalo has the ball, 2nd and 1 at their own 42-yard line. The Bills are winning 24-10 in the third quarter. 24-10 with the Dolphins. Bills in control. All right, so that's it for the show for tonight. Be back next week for episode number 19. Please check out a new article that was posted. It's right on the website, e5280sports.com. It's about the overview and what took place took place in week 1 of the college football season. In my preview of the NFL week 1, went over some certain games to keep your eyes on and stuff like that. It was basically NFL college football, recap of stuff and overview of the season, what's taking place, what's going to be taking place um, moving forward in week 1. So check that out. Week 1 of the NFL season and week 1 of the college football season. I just went over certain games that I felt was worth talking about for week 1 college football, stuff like that, games to check out, stuff like that. So check it out on e5280sports.com. Or it's NFL or college football for this season, everything that's self-explanatory dealing with the season for the week that was and stuff like that. So check it out on e5280sports.com. Shout out to Michael Spillin for having me be part of this platform, for writing articles on his platform. So that concludes episode number 18, the 18th episode. My time is up. It's 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So that's it for the show. Talk to you next time, next Thursday night on Elevation 52A Sports and Lifestyle and streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This concludes episode number 18 of Inside Sports with Rashad Mitchell. Until then, have a good night.